We begin tonight with a scathing report about local jails. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the 10 o'clock news. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Jesse Pagan. The California State Auditor says the San Diego County Sheriff's Department, quote, failed to adequately prevent and respond to deaths of people in their custody. That's the headline finding from a months-long audit that dropped today, investigating why San Diego has the second highest deaths in jail.
They're not doing a good job of really figuring out what went wrong, what are the lessons learned, and what changes could be made.
The 126-page report digs into why 185 inmates have died in custody between 2006 and 2021. Starting an intake, the report's main finding at the jails is a, quote, failure to consistently provide adequate medical and mental health care from the moment inmates come in. Some of those inmates died days after from, quote, insufficient safety checks during their stay. From there, California State Auditor Mike Tilden says the rest of the issues come from more of a policy level.
You know, it's really hard to read, but I understand some of what they've said, and the recommendations are good ones. We have taken a lot of those recommendations to heart. It's my intent, though, to take this seriously, to invest heavily in the jails where we need to make them safer environments for the people in our custody.
The report says the department process for investigating in-custody deaths is, quote, ineffective, structurally problematic, and lacking in transparency. But you heard Under Sheriff Kelly Martinez's response to some of that there.
It also calls out the county's Citizens Law Enforcement Review Board, saying it, quote, failed to conduct independent, timely, or thorough investigations. Under Sheriff Kelly Martinez says she understands the faults the auditor found.
Under Sheriff Martinez, who's also a candidate for sheriff, says the department opened their doors and processes to fully cooperate there.
She says better health care is one of the findings that she's known they need to improve on, and hiring health care workers has been a challenge, as in many other industries. In a statement, the department says they take the audit seriously and are taking action to implement the recommendations, which they say will take, quote, substantial investment in the existing jail system. Today's report comes as Sheriff Bill Gore marked his last day on the job.
He is retiring after serving as sheriff for 12 years. Meantime, the ACLU is trying to take the sheriff's department to court with a class action lawsuit.
The suit takes aim at the jails. CBS 8's LaMonica Peters talked to the ACLU about its lawsuit and the claims it is making about the department.
The original lawsuit was filed last year, but now they want to include more plaintiffs. Not only do they want the department held responsible for the deaths, but for other unsafe conditions as well.
And unfortunately, I think the worst of our concerns have come to fruition.
Insufficient COVID-19 protocols, unsanitary facilities, a lack of medical and mental health care, and people dying behind bars at alarming rates. Those are the concerns the ACLU says it has for people in custody of the San Diego County Sheriff's Department.
We've heard stories of just absolutely filthy conditions in some of the facilities, trash piled high, standing water in showers with water backed up worms coming out of drains.
The California State Auditor reports that 18 people died in custody last year, but the ACLU says it has no idea how many of those people may have died from contracting COVID-19.
There are somewhere over 3,000 people who've been infected on Sheriff Gore's watch. There's an unimaginable kind of suffering entailed in each of those 3,000 people's cases.
Sheriff Bill Gore recently spoke to CBS 8 and says the department plans to hire about 250 more people, including medical staff, to work in San Diego County jails.
We can always be better. We don't want anybody to die in our jails, but I think we're on the right track, and if this audit can help us, that's great.
Overall, the state auditor's report released on Thursday concluded that the Sheriff's Department failed to adequately prevent and respond to deaths in jail, and state lawmakers should get involved.
We have recommendations designed to have the legislature push the sheriff to provide better follow-up medical and mental health care, and to improve really the thoroughness of the safety checks.
The ACLU says it hopes to have a decision about its class action lawsuit on March 4th. In the meantime, they'll remain vigilant about bringing change to the Sheriff's Department.